And if I'm correct, and we're looking at Magnus versus Vincent Keimer. So they've been playing for a while now. 45 minutes, 10 seconds increment. That's the format I'm sure you guys are familiar with. And 28 minutes left for Magnus, 18 Vincent, 10 minutes different in between the two. Weird looking position. I'm looking at the Black King right in the corner, surrounded by its own piece. It looks like an invitation for a smothered mate. I mean, you know. And looks like we can apply the en passant here. I'm not sure if that's what you would do in this position with an en passant. You could tell me. Where do you get a bishop, amongst other things? Would you play the bishop here? Would you maintain your bishop on the c1, h6 diagonal? So just started now. Let me have some more coffee. Of course, we're going to look at the other two games that are happening as we speak. Now, if you take en passant here, if you take f captures g6, black will take back for sure, and that will open up the f. They open up the f. If the black rook takes and you take, they might be even pushing for a queen straight or something, playing queen f8 afterwards, and knights would be slightly happier. Both knights can actually relaunch themselves very nicely, very harmoniously. So I'm not sure if you should be opening or not with the en passant rule here. On the other hand, if you take en passant, also this bishop might be a little bit thriving and happy about this. We'll see about that. We'll see about that. So Magnus Vincent now. Let's look at Richard and the other guys. Ding. Let's see what they do. Strange interface because I have to press the left click arrow. I don't have the other two games displayed. I need to go back. So Ding Duran plays Daniel Friedman and Richard Report plays MVL. Okay, let's see what about here. Nice triple pressure on f7, right? Whose turn is it? MVL, obviously. Obviously, because if it was white's turn, you could potentially take on f7. But it is black. And do you think, guys, they're going to be removing the knight, though? Or they're going to be playing this? What are the options for black here? Triple attack on f7. This is for sure. So, what was the last move? Bishop takes f4, rook e7. Well, if the last move for white was rook e7, definitely the intent is f7. Triple attack. And just double defense. Therefore, black must do something to either defend 3 times or to remove one of the 3 attackers. So, probably bishop can take. Or maybe rook? Maybe. No, you can't, because there is a bishop here. So you actually can't make that battery. But perhaps you can take this way. You create a passer after all. Maybe. Maybe. Yes. Black's the move anyway. And the time is much more balanced here. It's 23 minutes for white, 23 minutes for black. So very good time management, quite equal and balanced. Let's see, 336, 325. Black have nicked a pawn. And actually, if I'm looking at this, I think I love the 2 black bishops. It's good to having those bishops. Now, let's see for how long, because this is a threat probably you can't really ignore. 1, 2, and 3. You go for the weaknesses. Now, mentioning actually that the rook on e7 also attacks b7. So you don't just pressurize the f7, you also hit the b7, and I think MVL just acted on to protecting b7 pawn, undermining the knight's defense even more. And totally. So if you were to capture here, I reckon, is this what he plans on? There is also this that might be happening. I might be very well. Might be very well. We'll see about that. We'll see, we'll see. Is the mic going? Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, that's fine. So we should be on 4 platforms now. We should be on Facebook, YouTube, kick.com, and YouTube, yes, of course, if I haven't said it. Let me go to this one back. What do they play here? Let me go back a bit. So after G5, White has the opportunity to take on a song. Hello, Vada. Good to see you. So he played knight e3. He didn't take en passant. He played knight e3. Probably the idea would be knight to g4 or maybe knight to d5. That's a good question. Would you go d5 or would you go g4? If you go g4 with the knight, that means this guy has to stay where they are. They can no longer play because h6 is hanging. So to my understanding, knight e3 wants to tell black you can't really play knight f6, or can, if they want to, they need to play it now. If they want to. Given the idea that if knight g4, knight's going to take, and then you're going to take with the queen, indeed. Quite a strong presence of the white queen on the king side. Remains to be seen. 16 minutes for Vincent, 25 minutes for Magnus here. Okay. So, how's it going, Vada? How's it going? Have you been watching from the very beginning? Today is number 9 round. Okay. Cheers. Okie dokie. Thanks for stopping by today. Cheers for that. So let's see what Vincent can play here now. Is Vincent planning knight f6? f6? But this is horrible to play f6. You're just blocking your knights. You have no way to develop the black knights then. It's just incredibly frustrating. So I guess you want to play one of the 2 black knights on f6? Okay. Okay. Right. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, let's look at Dingley Ren now. Dingley Ren playing white. Daniel Friedman plays with black. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Rook here. Queen and rook. Pressure on this guy, but he's defended twice. We got a bishop there. Can they do something? They might be able to push it, but not now because there is a knight, there is a queen. There's only one support. I don't think so. Whose turn is it? Daniel's turn. Oh, what? 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Knight e4 by Ding. If knight were to capture, what are you doing here? You take what? Playing this? Vada, what do you think about the current position here? And last move that Ding Liren played knight to e4, which is currently attacked by the black knight on f6 and by the queen on e8. If black knight takes, is white going to do bishop f3? No, you can't do. Yes, you. What? What's this? Is it rook takes d4? If knight takes e4, rook takes? Would he intend after rook takes to actually play on h4? Because the bishop would be happily attacking, and then rook might be attacking then h7. And this guy is on pre. Very interesting. Knight e4. This guy is under attack. I think this is a very tactical, interesting position here. You wouldn't expect Ren to play this, maybe? So you can take on c. Anyway, it is black's turn. So black needs to decide if they want to save the bishop. And by the way, exactly, saving the bishop means you got to go on the back rank to provide defense for this guy. He didn't rush to taking the knight, to my understanding, Vada, because if he took the knight, white would have taken the bishop with tempo, attacking the rook. Then black had to waste another tempo, moving the rook to safety. Therefore, white would have been able to take this pawn, I guess, with the rook. Anyway, it is Ding's now. So I guess Ding's going to take. No, yeah, you can, because it's check with tempo. Then you got to be very careful about queen hitting the e1 knight. Mind you, you can't play the king because there is a bishop here. So that's not that easy. f3, probably. Probably. Let me just do the candidate moves here. Could be f3. I might be wrong. Could be rook takes. Maybe. Could be knight takes. I'm not sure. Let's just look at the candidate moves. Then we're going to decide what's what. Bishop f3? Maybe. Again, bishop f3, because also you might be pressurizing c6. That might be as well. What other stuff? So these are candidate moves. 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 4 candidate moves, and we can debate on them. Rook takes, bishop f3, pawn f3, knight takes f6, rook takes d4. Rook takes d4. Okay, so I did 4 candidate moves. He did play one of them. I wasn't incredibly certain, but he decided to play this. You know, the exercise would be, Vada, let's just identify the candidate moves, and then if we have enough time, we can actually narrow down the scope and decide upon a more stringent and more imperative move to play. So that would be the thing. Let's see if we manage at least to do the candidate moves, which will contain the actual move that the Super GM is going to play. So I think that's a nice form of exercising chess skills and understanding. So we might be just very well going for that. Okay. So we did say this with the rook takes d4. We did mention that. Now back to Daniel. What is he going to play here? A bit cramped, this bishop, really. So he wants to trade off the rook. Okay. Wants to trade off. Are you forced to take? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Would you play knight f3? I think I like the idea of... whoa. I can't do knight f3. Because this guy is being double attacked. Not sure. Perhaps it's safer to take than something like f3 or bishop f3. And when you take the rook on b4, you also revealing the bishop's diagonal. So that might be another thing. For a Greek sacrifice, Vada, you might need 3 pieces to do the attack. And quick relocating of the queen over to the h file. So I perfectly understand what you're saying. For Greek sacrifice, you need a bit more attacking power. So he did do exactly what I said. He took on b4. And now I think we're going to see either this or that. We're going to see either bishop f3 or f3. No, okay, he took with tempo, mind you. And now probably going to play, after knight takes f6, probably Ding is going to play knight f3. You need to be careful here with white, Vada. You got to be careful about the back rank issues that you might have with the queen e1, which is, by the way, a checkmate if knight wasn't on f3. So now, you got to play this because knight is being threatened. Or, yeah, knight f3. There you go. Okay, we got this one correctly as well. Knight f3. And you still have to be treading carefully about the potential back rank. So this guy has to stay here. This guy has to stay there. So let's see. If bishop's going to take, queen's going to take, I don't know. Is there something else? We'll see about that. Can't move the king because there is a bishop covering f1. I don't know what else. Let's think. Daniel. If I were black here, I think I would take the bishop because I want to make space for my knight to go on. Actually, wait a minute. If you take the bishop and queen takes, isn't this guy hanging? What do you think, Vada? Bishop takes b2, queen takes b2, knight c5. Am I missing something? I mean, I'm trying to look in the most efficient way possible. In chess, simplicity and simplicity and positional certainty and positional control doesn't need weakness. It actually means tremendous power, because that's how you create in a very concrete way winning position. So I think it's important. Also, it's important for black to undermine this pawn structure here, rather. The c5 and the d6. So that's also powerful. I think it's important to snatch this pawn away. You gotta take the pawns back. Unless there is something else, and I need to inquire furthermore. Hey, what's this? I'm still getting some messages on the screen here. They're coming via WhatsApp. I hope you guys don't see them. Who's this? Never known this person. Oh, that might be a parent. Oh, okay. Okay. That's a parent. Okay, we're gonna go back at them after the stream. Yeah. So, okay. I think that's a very interesting position. Very instructive. I like this one also very much. Actually, I'm happy to see Ding Liren playing this kind of tactical strikes here. Knight on f3 serves purely a defensive idea, guarding e1. Cool. Let's go back a bit to Magnus and Vincent. Then we're going to look at Richard and MVL. Richard, I think Hungarian player who plays for Romania. He got a contract or something. So Bishop d2, played by Magnus. Position had changed. Do you know what I notice here, Vada? I noticed that Black's position is quite closed. It's a closed game. Let's call this one a closed game. It's very hermetical, very hermetic. It's very close. The question is, if you would... anyway, it's not white's, it's black's turn to play. Let me tell you something. I think you... Vincent might be very well considering a5. a5, which is just blocking everything. And he retains, if he does a5, he retains the prospect of mounting some attacking power on a4. So that's not to say Magnus can't just simply put a bishop on c2 and move the queen freely, or the rook, that is. But it looks to me that a5 would be one way to play it. Unless Vincent plans something like... what's this? Oh man, why do I get messages now? Why do I get messages now from these parents? Messages via WhatsApp, messages via Facebook Messenger. Oh, yeah, we'll be dealing with them later. Probably people have on this Sunday a bit more time now, by the way. Happy Easter for those of you that are celebrating. Have a peaceful Easter, so to speak. That would be the supreme value nowadays, right? Peace would be the supreme value. So what can I say? Easter. Possible. Right. So you either do a5, which blocks everything, sort of everything, or you're planning on something more funky, a6. I'm not sure, because that thing on the other side, it's an invitation for white to open up things, and they might be having a fast tempo in getting stuff here and opening up the. I don't think that's wise enough for black to try this. Probably a5. If you don't do a5 now with black, I guess Magnus will push the pawn. Interesting, very, very interesting. Sorry, I'm so attracted by a5 idea. So attracted. It might be some others. You play bishop? Why, oh why? Is it because he wants to circulate with the rook like this? Or what's the idea? No one attacks g3. Or he wants to... What? Want to play this and that? It's not clear. It's not clear. So you can't push here because you're gonna just lose. Therefore, he drops bishop on the back rank, probably preserving the second rank for rooks to circulate and things. 8 minutes for Vincent, 19 minutes for Magnus. A lot of time for Magnus here. A lot. So let's see. King to f8, moving the king away from the g file where things might be opening. Of course, that's what he probably had in mind, and that's a very good point, Vada, because that comes exactly to justify Vincent's last move, which is king to f8. Potentially, I guess, anticipating, hey, I was correct about this one, rook f2. I did say rook f1. Very versatile, Vada, rook to f2. Very versatile in terms that they could just simply move either b file or g file or whatever they are required to. So rook f2, a multi-purpose, very open and versatile position for the rook on f2. So they may go left and right whenever necessary, wherever necessary. Yes. I think this is a very exciting way to play. It will be a bit more challenging for Vincent, though, because he's on 7 minutes. Magnus is on 19 minutes. So it would be a bit challenging for Vincent. Let's say. It is an idea, h4, definitely an idea. It could be. Especially, Vada, after rook goes over to g or b, having the bishop also to support g3 and stuff. But let me tell you something. Before white will be pushing any h4, you have to move the king away from the g file. So he played b2, which I did mention. And by the way, Vada, the intention is a5. The intention now is a5. Knight not h4, because this guy is pinned. So he didn't do nothing on the king side. He moved the rook over to the b2. It's very clear intent, to my understanding. Correct me if I'm wrong or you got a different idea. Yes, queen c7 comes exactly to allow, if pawn goes forwards, to capture, so to speak, defending this guy in any case. And another thing, rather, rook g8, rook g8 to b8. That's what I want to do. No, I don't think Vincent has an attack plan now. Magnus has an attack plan. Vincent has a defensive offensive plan. Vincent wants to play rook g8 to b8. It's defensive. He doesn't have an attacking plan per se. I don't think he attacks anything unless he wants to play this, which is not working. That's not working. So therefore might not be any attacking plan unless this and that. That might be h5 first, defending by f6 knight. g4 because the rook is here, so that might be an option, I guess. So queen c7, just to making sure, by the way, Vada, queen c7 just to making sure that this guy is not pinned, for instance. Queen c7 because you might want to make a battery, whenever. But I think this and that could be potentially employed. So Magnus blocks it. Preemptively, Vada, by the way, prophylactically, he plays g4 to stop h5 and then g4. That's not to say, by the way, that h5 can't be played. It can, but after you play this, I guess Magnus can do this and that. I mean, he wants to make it closed here, and maybe he dreams of opening up with a at some point. Maybe king h2 and h4. That's another option. Looks like pawn moves that will be opening the game here, Vada, especially for Magnus in this position. Looks like pawn moves on the h and a file respectively could be opening the game for Magnus to attack on the flanks. It could be. It could be h or a pawns. Yeah. Yes. But I think the principle would be don't keep the king on the file with the opponent's rook. So that's a very, very healthy principle, and we need to pay heed to that. a6, which I think I did mention at some point, it's something they could play. Maybe a5 would have just blocked everything. Vincent doesn't necessarily play for a draw or to closing things. I think he's got the fighting spirit accessible at the minute now. He wants to actually fight this game. If he wanted to close it, if I'm correct, I think he would have just went for a5 if he wanted to close it. But he doesn't close it. He keeps it open. He plays e6, like inviting Magnus to push if he wishes so. That's interesting. So now I'm curious to see what Magnus decides to play. This and that. In terms that if they capture with the pawn, there will be a bishop. So I think I like that idea. But then again, you may want to move the king away first. You may want to play king away from the g file and then maybe pushing h4. I hope I'm correct on this assessment. I hope I'm correct. We'll see about that. In just a couple of minutes. Nice one. Nice one here. Okay, let's go briefly now, Vada. Let's go briefly to Daniel and Dingley Ren, which had progress. Their game moved a lot. Oh, my days. They have traded so many pieces. Daniel, 6 minutes, almost 7, 20 minutes Dingley Ren. Now that's something. 3-3, but Ding is having double pawns on the F file, an isolated guy on H. Black Knight can't move except they go here. But if they go there, maybe we're going to be witnessing some Knight F8. And if you don't move that, you have only the king. But if you move the king, you're running into Knight F6 check. Then they could, though. Okay. There's so many ifs and so many potential moves here. That would be a check and double attack here. I think Daniel's intent is, yeah, he moves away from check. Again, notice Vada if king takes. There is knight f6. So probably a draw. Is it too early to call it a draw here, guys? I think it's a draw. I think it might be a draw, this one. Good stuff for Daniel is that he's got two connected pawns, whereas Ding has two isolated pawns. If that means anything. And Black King could potentially, given a chance, could potentially try to approach this guy somehow. But then again, if Black King takes or goes G4, it's to be debated. Now, it's interesting. Now, you can't go G4 because it's going to be a check. I mean, you didn't do nothing. You may just very well take this guy. Or question. Would you push G5? Asking for a friend. There are so many ideas. It may look simple, people. It may look simple, but it's always so complex. Okay, he actually played knight d5, which I did mention. Knight d5, which double attacks the f4 pawn, so to speak. That's a good stuff. And now he pushes h3 after king f3. You know what? The plan for Daniel is simply knight takes. And when he takes, you could still take with this guy. Because if king takes, you take. So it's not that simple. It's not that simple. It's never simple. It is never simple. Therefore, they keep playing. If it was simple and an obvious super draw, they would have drawn. Those guys are super grandmasters, and one of them is a current world champion. So if they keep continue with the knight and king and 3 pawns endgame, there might be something more to consider here. It might be something more to think about here. Okay, so that's Daniel and Dingliran. Let's go quickly back to Magnus and Vincent. Okay, guys, what did it happen here? So rook b2, rook h2. If you remember, Vada, I did mention about the rook versatility, the rook that goes left and right. I did say that specifically. And by the way, rook h2 wants to tell Vincent, if I may say, oh, by the way, sorry for digressing. I said about a5 as a means for black to stop any white pawn moving up the board. So he locked or he blocked things on the queen side. And now Magnus, knowing that he got not too much to do on the queen side, so to speak, he goes over to the h2 and he wants to push this guy. He definitely wants to push this guy. Why do you think, Vada, that amongst others Vincent played queen here? He wants to move the king to c7. That's my 2 cents. I'm telling you now, I guess Vincent, amongst many other things, he wants to move the king to c7 away from the diagonal h4 d8, which might be claimed by the white bishop after some pawn goes here. So to speak, yes, it's an attempt to increase the king's safety. There is no absolute safety in chess, as in life, so what we can do is to minimize the danger. So h4 is coming. h4 is coming. It cannot be stopped, Vada. h4 can't be stopped. So because it cannot be stopped, probably one relatively safer thing is king to c7. Or maybe king to c8. Depends. King to c7 would also defend b6 twice if there ever were to be a double attack on this guy. You know, all sorts of things being considered. From white's point of view, there is also the bishop on d3, which, by the way, it's just defending here. The bishop on d3 doesn't do nothing. So, I mean, apologies, doesn't do nothing. It's just that you would like to having the bishop a bit more active, attacking open diagonals. As we know, folks, the bishops are thriving on open diagonals, but now it is currently closed. It's defending e4. c4 is not attacked by anyone, but anyway, it is what it is. As a compensation, can I say that? As a compensation, the bishop on e1 would be the hero of the game, especially very much after h4. And now my 2 cents are, should I actually put this one as the first candidate move, h4, because that screams to be played. And if you don't play h4, I absolutely don't know what else you can play here with white. Oh my god, wait a second, they already moved a couple of things. Apologies. Bishop c2, queen f8, king f1, king d8. Apologies. Bishop d1, I got lost in my own thoughts. King c7. Aww. King e2, rook goes b8, king goes d. Yeah, and here we are now. King to d2. Okay. Sorry, I haven't noticed there is a bunch of other moves being played already. Queen g7, king c1. The dance of the kings now. What's this? They're moving the kings now from one side to the other side of the board. Okay. So you want to move the king away from the struggle. You want to keep the king away from the dirty stuff. So considering h4 might be happening, you know, you want to move them away. And if this thing happens, I gotta tell you something, black's not gonna take. They're gonna keep the status quo, getting pieces on the king side now, so to speak. So that's not gonna happen. What's gonna happen is g5 takes h4. That's what not gonna happen, probably. You wanna get the other rook too, here, on g8. And let's see. So if h4, I think I can say, in all honesty, that it's not going to happen. G takes. Now that's a strange move, guys. Rook h2 to h1. This is a strange move. That's a strange move, and I don't know what I mean. I absolutely don't know. Maybe in some distant future, king here, rook b1, rook b2, in some very distant future. I mean, I don't know what's the king rook h1 gonna do. Maybe it could be that kind of thing to be waiting, a waiting move or something. Or sorry, rook h1. I don't think it serves a great purpose of anything. It's just sort of like a waiting move. Okay, doubling of the rooks. Okay, yes. Okay, so that's the thing. Yes, Vada, you are correct if you meant battery on H. You are correct if you meant battery on H. You are right about this aspect. I guess he is preparing, actually. He's working for the plan that we did say, which is H4. Further securing. Do you know what's interesting about King B2? King B2 wants to play. That's nice. King A3 now. King A3. Very, very soon we got maybe bishop c2 to look after this guy if the queen would be caught up in the stuff with the h4. So maybe bishop c2 securing this guy as well so that the queen can move freely, right? Maybe he's gonna play bishop g3 first and then pushing. I think white is important to maximize pieces position and then go for h4. So that maximize meaning bishop c2, I wonder? Bishop c2 and then you push? But then, yeah, maybe. Bishop c2, you know why? Amongst many other things. Not just to defend here, but if you play bishop c2, you can always change your mind. And rook back to b. Very interesting. What on earth is bishop c1 doing? Vada, do you see what's the thing with bishop c1? Bishop c1, like what exactly you want to do with bishop c1? Excuse me, what is that doing? Okay. Okay. What does he want to do? Knight g3? Why? What does he want to do with the knight, guys? What does he want to do with the knight on f1? Wasn't the knight supposed to protect g4 in order for you to do h4? Very interesting, but I wonder. Okay. Okay. Let's see what Ding Liren did with Daniel Friedman, because those guys had an interesting position as well. Man, they are just shuffling pieces here. I got dizzy at how many times they move. They move the king from one side to the other. They move the rooks left, right, left, right. Knight g3. I did say knight g3, but they tried to figure out what is the intent with this. Why? What? Okay, more readjusting. Probably h4, right? h4 takes, and you're going to take back with the rook. Also attacking h6. That makes a lot of sense. If they don't take, you are going to take. And again, that will be opening up of the h file. I think that is the plan, broadly speaking. Everything gravitates around h4 pawn move. I do think it's about h4. h4 takes, and if it doesn't take, you take. If knight takes, probably you take, and you still have incredibly powerful attack on the h file. So we might just very well be see an h4 very soon, because Magnus has been preparing this for ages, which is for the last 10 minutes. That's what ages mean in chess. "13 minutes for white, 1 minute, 2 minutes almost for Vincent, less than this." So, Vada, tell me honestly, would you push h4 now? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's the move that we've been talking about for the last 10 minutes. Yes, h4, finally, guys. Finally. h4 had just been played. h4. That was screaming to be played for so long. The game would be now played on the king side with the rooks, with the queens, and everything. Well, yeah, you wouldn't expect anything less than deep calculation from these guys. Problem for Vincent is the time. So he will get 10 seconds after he makes a move, but you really need a ton of time now. This is getting really serious, and it's a matter of accuracy now. And actually, Magnus calls the shots, and he does the attack here. So it's going to be a bit difficult for Vincent, time-wise. And I mean, look, that time going running low. It's a bit scary. It is a bit scary. Okay, Queen G7. You can't really. I mean, he's actually preparing to capture if you don't take. So the idea is, if you do not take, he is going to take, having triple attack on G4. But if he takes a new take, you're defending 1, 2, 3. He's attacking 1, 2, 3. if Magnus wants to draw, he only needs to push h5, and that's it. All the energies on the king side are completely wasted. You fought for nothing. We're gonna see a big draw. So Magnus now can decide to go for a draw, Vada, but he plays queen to g2. If you capture, I'm taking with the rook. You can't really take here because I'm gonna play rook to g4. Excellent move, a backward little move with queen. Apparently uneventful, but means a great deal. So if black takes h4, rook is going to take, and you still can't do this, knight g4. You can't. More like a waiting move here, bishop f8. This is more like a waiting move. Now the question is, would you take on g5? I think you can take on g5. I think you could take on g5. H takes g5. Would you take now, Vada? Honestly. If you don't take, what on earth do you do? Because that's the whole thing. The whole thing is for you to break the H. I mean, take the G and open up the H file. If you don't do this, if you do it, he might take with a knight. If you take H G5, he might do knight G5. And then double attack here. He may not take with a pawn, though. Knight takes. Knight, but then H6. Rook, what? No, you can't take H6. E4, you mean E4, yeah. E4 you mean. C4 is not attacked, it's not going to be a problem. The problem would be maybe E4. He did take, Vada. He did take. I think it's up. Didn't I say knight G5? I did say knight G5 as well. Yes, you take with the knight. And Vada, you said, and I agreed on this one, the thing would be for white E4. Magnus has this H file with a lot of power there. Question is, would you take this knight now? Just to water down the intensity of the pressure for the E4, you take. Maybe a kind of a couple of tradings would be here. You got to be very careful, though. They might take even with the queen. I'm not sure if you should take or not at the minute. Would you do knight to h5, though? I think I'm liking this. It attacks the queen and takes a knight away from pressurizing you on e4. So if you do knight h5, you hit the queen and you attack the knight. Knight h5. If knight takes, you could say very much thank you, because you're going to take back with the rook. And I think you're doing good. I think you're doing good with whites. So my first candidate move would be simply knight h5. And I guess Magnus already calculated that. He's just checking if he missed anything or stuff. So that's what I think. Knight h5. What do you think, Vada, about knight h5? Oh, the c4. I don't see the c4 as a big problem. I hope I'm not wrong. Let me move this stuff just a bit up here. Hi there, Chess Insights. I'm just thinking about the knight h5. What does the AI say about the knight h5? Knight h5. Taking the hit off the e4 square. So, oh, bishop, going back to Vadza's idea, bishop e6, I think it's not important to play for black. It doesn't mean nothing. You actually take a bishop away from the most critical area. You do nothing with bishop a6. There is always bishop c2. So you gotta waste another tempo to get a bishop back on c8. So Vada, in between ourselves, bishop a6 and bishop c8 serves no purpose unless you want to lose a tempo. So that's my very simple understanding of it. I'm not sure I'm absolutely correct, but that's how I see it. Hey, I did say that. I did say knight h5 all day, and I did say knight takes and rook takes. So I was not very far away about the truth, so to speak. I wasn't far away from the truth. White is doing cool. White is having the bishop pair cruising, really uh, uh, destroying everything here with the bishop pair. The snipers, those two snipers. He's got a battery exactly on the weakest spot ever. H file, H6 is a major liability. And I'm telling you guys now that there's a big problem about getting also the queen in the game here at some point, maybe shuffling things a bit, rook moving up, get the queen behind, then you have triple attack on h6. Bishop g5, nope, I would say AI Insights, I would say rook h4, you get the queen to h or to h1 or to h2 and you have triple attack here and that's it. Of course, they're going to play bishop. They're going to play probably knight f7, but you already having then the bishop claiming h6 for sure. So looks to me, you only need to sit down and to understand that actually you need to mount the pressure, mount more pressure on it. There you go. Well, he was quicker than me. He didn't say rook left and then queen behind the two rooks. He actually does the Alekhine gun with queen to h2 now. Triple attack, you can't defend it. Knight f7 means an extra attacker. But he gave up on this guy, though. He gave up on the e4. Bishop takes. Okay. I'm sure I'm sure actually Magnus did calculate this stuff because I'm incredibly panicking in this stuff. Probably I would have played rook h4, queen h1, protecting e4, attacking h6. But maybe that's incredibly slow. FIDE 1787. Let me check again. I gotta. You can check on my chess.com. I put a FIDE over there. That was last year's Rapid. I played one single tournament last year, so most of my activity is online now. Unfortunately or fortunately, I don't know. Queen e7. Moved away from the bishop. Now c3 is being attacked. I'm not liking that much the presence of the Black Knight on e4. Maybe it would have been safer from White's point of view to play that little preparation. My 2 cents, he might have been. He might have been. So now what do you do about the c3? Do you move the king or something? You can just play the king. King b2, right? Not the b3, so to speak. Because you might have this battery aiming at a4. So probably king b2. Probably. We're going to see. Still Magnus doing better with the time. 5 minutes, almost 6 minutes. And 18 seconds for Vincent. I really feel for Vincent with that awfully low amount of time. 18 seconds. It's just... So king b2 defending c3, and then you see what you can capitalize on the open h file with your super powerful battery. And also you need to play some bishop. Well, no, because you're going to drop this guy. But bishop f3. After king b2, guys, after king b2, which defends c3, you might be playing bishop f3. Just send that guy away ASAP. Send that knight away. On the other hand, black can push the pawn. In principle, saying it's a passed pawn, by the way. It's a passed pawn. Well, we can debate on that, fellas. If, yeah, there you go, king b2. I did say king b2 because it feels incredibly natural for me to react in this fashion, to respond in this fashion. So king b2, I did say it. That one doesn't mean nothing. It might mean this, and then heck, you're going to go back and you're going to drop this guy. It could be as a measure to counteract. But why not just playing this? No, you can't. That's the idea. Aha, I think I've deciphered. Bishop d7 AI is that if you want to play bishop f3... No, I think you can play bishop f3. You can play bishop f3, but then they're going to play knight g5. Then you're going to have to go back, and then they might be going back. So you don't want to really repeat things here, right? If you're playing with white. Yeah, bishop a6 would have attacked c4. That is for sure. But then white would have played bishop e2. Then they could do bishop d3. Okay. Rook drop to h4, defending g4. Therefore, maybe bishop can play this. That was the whole idea with rook. Yes, it could be. It makes sense, though. It makes sense. And Vincent is a huge, huge time issue. And it pains me to say, but I think if someone's going to lose here, or if Vincent's going to play some very bad move, it's because he doesn't have time. There is a serious problem with d2 because it's guarded heavily. So after bishop c2, AI insights... Oh, sorry, what? Oh, I see what you're meaning. Oh, I see what you're meaning. But he played bishop c2. I did say bishop c2. He sacked an exchange, Vincent. I think he's going to get in trouble now. He sacked an exchange. Rook to h8, fellas. That's my call. That's my shot immediately. That's more like a reaction, but it feels incredibly efficient. Just trade though, because the principle in chess is once you get some material advantage, go for trading and don't let them any counterplay. So rook to h8, I think would be the stuff too. There you go. I'm no Magnus Carlsen, but I can identify some of the ideas that he finds them indeed very correct. So rook to h8, I did say it, and probably many other folks would have played it as well, not just myself or Magnus, that is. I mean, when you recognize the truth, truth is truth no matter. And yeah, so queen is going to take. Obviously, that's a forcing move. Queen's going to take. Queen's going to take, and white is winning. To my understanding here, I think white is winning. That's the only counterplay. The pawn coming down is the only counterplay that might happen here. And now we can start thinking again. Magnus, though, has a bit more time to think it through. Vincent, not that much time, but that's something you got to be careful about. It's not that much of a bluff. I think it's something you got to treat it very carefully. You would love to play something like this, but you can't because there is a knight here. Probably Magnus going to find something. Can you play... Okay, nah, he goes here. Probably he wants to get the rook in front of the pawn or something. I'm not sure. We'll see. But it's very instructive and very cool. Vincent still suffers from lack of time. Knight f3. Okay. Okay. I guess queen e2. Is there a problem with queen e2? That's what I would play at the first glance. Now, probably that's the correct move. You tell me, guys, if you think otherwise. Probably queen e2. What? Queen h7. Oh, I see what you mean. Queen takes, rook takes. Yes. Hold on a second. No, he didn't. Probably something fishy with that idea. AI insights, I fully appreciate that thought. It might be correct, but I'm not sure. I didn't even consider. I just looked at queen e2, but I might have been wrong. You might have been right. It's not an easy position. Anyway, Magnus didn't play it, so probably he didn't like something down the road about that queen h7 idea. You could play rook e1, attack 3 times. No, He did play the king to defend this guy. Can we play rook e1? Is there something wrong with rook e1? I mean, if he pushes e3, you're going to take it. And I think it's game over at that stage. Really, it's game over. I think it starts to look like a game over now. There's nothing here. Not even this. Because of this. So it doesn't work. It doesn't work queen e8 because king a3. Double defense. And after rook he1, they can't even play knight f3 because I'm going to take your knight, right? Yes. Yeah. And then you're going to take, and if they push here, I'm going to play this. Okay, I think it's playable. Anyway, if I was white, I would just play rook he1. And I think it's, yeah, there you go. Okay, so that's the supreme confirmation. If Magnus plays it, it means it's correct. Well, most of the time, except when he plays Richard Report and blunders a full piece. Other than that, it's okay. We can trust Magnus to the highest extent. Rook he1. And Vincent's going to resign any second now, guys. He's going to resign. He doesn't resign? Well, can I take this guy? Okay, we're going to see this, that's for sure. And this. Okay. Not fully over yet, guys. That's the beauty and the difficulty of the chess endings. King a3 exactly on the spirit of making sure when this battery happens, you've got actually double protection for a4 pawn. Boy, oh, what? Maybe this. So he took now. Okay, he took now. Nah, there's nothing happening here, guys. That one doesn't mean nothing. I'm going to play this, right? Come on, I think it's over now. This game, at least. You're not going to play this because this. So you could play what? This? And if they do this... No, they can't. That's a game over. No, I don't think there's anything. King b2. He said, take the pawn. Okay, let's play bishop c2 and game over now. Okay, bishop c2. No, bishop c2 is the safest thing ever. That's it. Now it's game over. For Christ's sake, that's it. It's just done. I think Vincent should take a break. You know, spare the pain of having to play this lost ending. Okay. There's no game for black here. White is having the e-file. Hey, that's a masterly move. If they had taken, you would have had a very nice pawn phalanx here going up the board and promoting. Knight actually defending here because it's also a nice threat. Still, can you make a rook e7? Asking for a friend. It's happening not very far away in time, if I may say that, AI Insights. Yeah, I think it happens like 10-15 minutes after the first round had finished, and they will be starting the 10th round. In which case, we can indeed go and grab a tea or a coffee and coming back if that's what you want to do, guys. If you're with me, probably I'm going to be staying slightly longer. Of course. So, g5 here. I was about to say the g5. But let's just not queen takes. Okay, every single trade favors white. Of course you're going to take. Queen takes, queen, pawn takes, and then rook to g6. And why is Vincent playing? Okay, so we're going to play... You're going to play rook g6, right? No, he pushes f6. Because of this and because of that. Okay, I guess that works too. And there's just so many good stuff to play for white. Yeah. I'm streaming, guys. Cool. But you can take stuff whatever you want. That's all right. So, yeah. What does that mean? It doesn't mean nothing. Exactly. This and that. Okay, so Vincent will resign. Yeah, he just resigned. Exactly. It's just too much. Nice. Very nice positional stuff they play here. So let's see if the other games are still happening. No, they had finished. Richard drew MVL. Ding Luren drew Daniel Friedman. They drew as well in this position. Is this a draw? Well, yeah, okay. 2 versus... No, 2 versus what? Yeah. Okay. If Black Knight moves, we're gonna get this guy. Okay, they drew. Fine. The next match. Let's check exactly. Let's check exactly what's going on here. Let's check. Schedule. Round number 9. Round number 10, 2 p.m. Okay. It's gonna be today the round number 10, guys, and tomorrow playoffs. So we are going to see them. When are they supposed to starting? Do they say or something like that? Fixtures are Daniel Richard, MVL Magnus, Vincent Ding. Nice, very nice. Magnus Black against MVL. So we got time to go get a beverage and then try to come back, make sense of the next rounds. That's cool. And we can do some puzzles in the meantime. Maybe a friendly, but I do need a cup of tea. Results. Magnus still in the lead, 6.5. Look at this. You probably knew that already, guys. He's in the lead, 6.5. Richard, 5.5. MVL third. So although he started with a loss, giving a full piece. Yes, I plan to coming back tomorrow, of course. Yeah, absolutely, AI Insights. Yeah. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, guys, if you came today first time. We're going to be meet up again in the future. And I do plan to coming back tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. So, been doing streaming for the last 14 months or so. So, yeah, it's a slow building process. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm enjoying watching these guys playing. So, we can just very well meet up and just talk some friendly ideas. Yeah. Anyway, round number 10 will start. In the meantime, let me just put a puzzle quickly here until I'm coming back with that tea. I hope I'm going to be doing it right. I need that tea. White to move here, and you can just very well think about this one. Cheers, man. Thank you. Cool. Oh, blimey. If you don't take the bishop, I don't know what else do you do, because you're pretty much cooked here. You are cooked. You have to attack now. Looks like you have to take that bishop. Sorry if there's something else. I don't think there's anything else at the minute now. Okay. Now we have another check here, though. We have another check. This king has to play. And I don't think you take the queen. I think you're going to do another check. They're going to be moving here. And then you're going to have rook here. And then they're going to be moving here. And then you got to take the queen with check. Then they're going to be moving here. Rook is here, right? So probably something like, it might be a checkmate in 6-7 moves or something. Oh, not mentioning king f5. Yeah. Queen takes king f5. Rook still has to play. Yeah. And then they go g6. That might be 2. So maybe after all, AI Insights, maybe after all, it's actually queen c8. Just to making sure, as you very well pointed out, just to making sure there is no f8. It could be, indeed, yes. So, I mean, looks like we've got only 2 options here. You either play queen c8 or you either play queen c6. You've got just 2 big options here. Queen c8 takes the f and makes them play either e5 or d6. That is. Well, they both can be continued with checks because you got a rook as well. And yeah, it's one of these 2. So let's just consider queen c8, king's going to play e5, right? And then you're going to have rook to a5 check. If king goes d4, King goes d4 though, which is here. You have a queen to d7 check. King might be going here. So you got to find another way. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure about queen c8. I'm really not sure about. You're actually getting blocked by your own pawns. I'm not sure about queen c8 anymore that much. Unless queen c8, d4. Is there any other? Yeah, there is a pawn here that I might use, but it... yeah. Because if they take, I might be having a check and I'm winning the queen. And then there is no checkmate because I can move via this guy. It's complicated. It's really complicated. Queen c8 check, king to e5. Check with the pawn. Check with the pawn. And if queen takes queen c7, king's going to move on f5. And then you have check from the rook. King moves, you're going to take with the queen. Check, and I think it's a checkmate. Queen c8, right? Queen c8, king e5, and f4. Vada, do you think I'm correct? AI Insights, you guys reckon that might be the correct way to play? Queen c8, king e5, f4. Well, if king takes though f4, still have queen c7. Then they go back f5. What? Then we got the rook. Queen c6, king d. Rook a5, check. King f5, king f5, king f5. Or king f4. No. King c6, king f5. Actually, it can be played, yeah. Of course it can. 6. King c6, king e5, f4. No? Don't tell me it's a pawn move or something. That would be too. It can't be a pawn move. No, it can't be a pawn. This is crazy. It's gotta be a queen check now. It has to be a queen check. It's very many ways for the black king to move to. That is correct. So actually, the whole struggle in this puzzle, Vada, is just try to cover them and to find the way that actually limits them until there is a checkmate. It's a very difficult puzzle. You got two big ways to continue, and I guess it's either queen c8 or queen c6. But the black king can go places. You guys said it. It can go f5 and then g6. And if they go to g6, you got nothing. That is why I'm slightly inclined to say by elimination, Vada and AI Insight. I'm slightly inclined to say it might be queen c8. If you do queen c6, king's going to play f5. You could check with the rook on a5. King's going to go g6 though. And trading queens is not going to help you in the slightest. And that is why I think queen c8, but it's not easy at all. Queen c8 because you consider is the way that keeps the black king very much checkable in your queen and rooks areas. So queen c8. If I play queen c6, they're going to play f5 and g6, and I think goodbye. We can say it's done. You can't reach the black king no more. So just judging this aspect, probably we should commit queen c8. But then again, if there's any other trickstery here, is there any other convoluted sequence of queen c8? Might be queen c8. No, it's not queen c8. Well, not queen c8, then it's queen c6. Oh, now you gotta be kidding me. So guys, mind you, not queen c8, not queen c6. Can you believe that? I was afraid, and I did say that I fear it might be a pawn move. So cutting off f5. If you do a pawn move, you get like a billion checks coming, right? First of them being here. But then you're done. It can't be a pawn move. What the heck is this? You don't play c8, you don't play c6. Really? Really? Like, really? You don't play c8, you don't play queen. Oh, yeah. Of course, queen d7. Yeah, of course, queen d7. Yes, it's queen d7, rook a5. Yes. Yes. Yes, Vada. Kudos to you for seeing something incredibly obvious. Queen d7. Not queen c8, not queen c6. Correct. Queen d7 takes the f5. King's gonna move e5 and then rook plays. Yes. And after rook plays, that's it. I didn't even consider that. Yeah, I haven't considered. Now it's this guy. That is correct. They still play here though, but there is this. And that's game over. Yes. I took it on the wrong path. Yes. But Vada saved it. So kudos to you, Vada. You've done it, brother. Yes. Rook a5. King can only play f4 and queen to g5. Definitely going for that T now. Absolutely. Yeah, that doesn't mean anything. It's a delay. Rook can just very well take this and queen here. Yes, this and that. Excellent. That's why you guys are very important, because you actually do it. And you do it. Okay, let's put the next one and then go and get that T, hoping that I might be able to see two more ideas. Very good stuff. In the meantime, actually, when do they start? Round number 9 and 10. Do they say something about minutes or something? Like, haven't yet. They haven't started yet. Okay. Let's get that T though. Let's get a T. I guess something with the rook or something. Up and down. Or maybe to the right. Or maybe up. Something like this. Sometimes there might be some help. Sometimes I definitely suffering from acute blindness. All right, let's get a T. Cheers, guys. folks. Okay. Let me fix this chair. Yes, if anything is helpful and it increases the understanding, that's good. So absolutely, I don't see why I wouldn't cover the World Championship. Of course I would. I think that would be the most important thing. Totally. I mean, in that particular time, I mean, if I'll be like working somewhere at some point, I mean, you know, during the World Championship, I mean, yeah, I might be available just in the evening or something. So, but yeah, the intent is absolutely to cover it. So, guys, you solved it already, right? Vada, AI Insight, you already done the puzzle, right? So we got Rook, which I think might check A7 or might check G2 is one of these. It's one of these for sure. I guess G2 looks interesting. It could be, do you know something? It could be king takes, but in what specific order? I mean, you could do rook G2. That's a check. King's gonna move stuff. Then you could take here because the bishop is pinned, definitely. You could play with the king. You should be winning. This, they play, you take with the king, right? They check you. You just very well go back. It doesn't look you're gonna lose or anything. I don't think you're gonna lose or anything. You could take with the king right now, but they're gonna be checking you. And then you're gonna play king G5. So if you take and they check, you're gonna move here. I don't think there is any problem whatsoever. Then you might have this. So it's either king takes. Do you know, I think all this stuff wins. I think king f5 feels like the move to play. King f5, we're not concerned about rook taking or anything because you're winning. So king taking, I think it's cool. You're no longer pinned, exactly as AI Insight just say. And then you can deliver some attacks with the rook, you know. Probably on the G file. Depends what they play. Depends what they play. King takes f5. If king h6 here, you could have check on the h2. It's a lot of good stuff. And they go back. You have check again. They go, well, you can't just repeat that, but you got this. You have the opposition, then this if there is any check. So you're winning king takes f5. The question is, what's the quickest way? So you're definitely winning with white. You're totally winning with white here. Question is, which way is the quickest? Is it king f takes f5 or something? King takes f5. If king h6, then bishop f7. What? King takes f5. King. Yeah, you could. You could, yeah. Of course, yeah. Maybe. I would rather focus on attacking the king. So king takes, and if the other king takes, why not king here? Why not king f6 rather than bishop f7? You play bishop f7 AI Insights when they play rook f8. So I guess you need to strive for the opposition. You need to strive for the opposition. So king takes f5. I think it's a very good start. And frankly, there's no good moves for black. They're going to be losing. There's nothing they could do here. Question is, which one is the quickest? Let me look at rook h2. Rook h2. No, not rook h2. Apologies. Rook g2. Rook g2. King h6. You take, but then check. No, you gotta take the pawn first. Oh, blimey. Checks. Yeah. Hey, they go back. I mean, everything. I mean, it's winning, right? Was it the rook here? Just ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, you're winning regardless. Who cares? Oh, no, 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 no. You go back to f6. Actually, play f6. Yes, f6 and then this. So f6. And now you play this and you got checkmate here. Yeah, well. Ridiculous. Hold on a second. Let me see if the others were like maybe the second or the third line of the engine. I mean, it's winning. Probably they just... Okay, that's from a real nice little game here. Wait a minute. Just wait a minute. King G7. Let me see if you're actually having like... Oh, the others are drawing? Are you serious? You telling me King F5 is drawing here? King F5 is drawing? Not drawing nothing. You go back, you got an extra piece. Yeah, you're winning, but it takes longer. Ah, okay. You're winning, but it takes way longer. And you gotta play a lot of moves. Very many moves. Okay. Okay, Rook G2, the only correct move. And then King F6, and then Bishop F7 blocking the check. Yeah, well, next time. Let's see if they started, though. Let's see if they started. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Okay. Okay, let's have a look. Rook to D, Rook AC1. Okay, getting rooks on the C and D file. MVL is white. Magnus plays with blacks. That one looks exploitable. 1, 2, 3, 1. I think looks interesting. That one. This one might look playable, but then again, they might be A3. They might need to go back. This one looks a candidate move for black here. So probably Rook AC8 is never a bad idea. So never a bad idea getting rooks on the open file or semi-open files. Rook AC8 could be very well. For black, that is. But no, he did play knight C7. Knight C7. Okay. Knight C7. Maybe to increase the pressure on D4, knight E6 or something? Maybe. Maybe. Perhaps. MVL to move here. So I don't think you want to take because you're just helping the other guy. Getting 2 central pawns on C and D. And opening all the bishops everywhere. Well, you could take, you open for yourself too. But they will take with a pawn. Would you play this? Guys, do you think bishop a3 might be something? Bishop a3. I mean, if you have to just adjust yourself with every single move that happens, maybe bishop a3. Bishop a3. Bishop a3, knight e5. What else? Bishop a3, knight e5. F3, knight e5. Could be. Ah, there is also another trickstery here. Knight c7 might be also bishop a6. Not the end of the world, but it might be something. That's something. Good. It could be. It could be bishop a6. It could be. Bishop e3, it's not really playable now. Knight e6 is playable for black when it's their turn. Knight e6 could be. It's MVL's turn now. It's white's turn. So if I am to just put some candidate moves, this one springs to mind. This one too. That might be something. Bishop a3, bishop a3, bishop a3. That is correct. Yes. Yes. That's okay. No problem. Yeah, there you go. Bishop a3. Yes. We were correct on this one. Yes, bishop a3. Bishop a3, because the black pawn is pinned, can't take. Queen is going to be captured. So it's a pressure. Given the fact that the bishop is a bit stuck here now, if you want to maintain, keep the tension, bishop a3, black pawn is pinned, it's good. It's good. Yeah, we did say that indeed. Now could be bishop a6. Could be knight e6. That could be as well. Knight e6. Yes. AI. Yes, that is true. But something happened here. Magnus played after bishop a3. Yeah, of course. I think I did mention the first time I've seen the position. Takes, and obviously takes. Okay, that's still a tension here. Do you go E? Do you go E5? Do you go E1? Where do you go? You have to move the knight, right? You have to move the knight. So bishop E5, right? Bishop E5. If you do F6, it's painful because they just move away. You're not going to do nothing, and you're going to weaken the light squares. What did they do? Knight D2, though. Queen is being attacked. We did say bishop a6, and I think AI Insight said bishop a6 as well. Queen must move, but can you do knight c4? No, you cannot. It's a disaster. You have to move queen. Queen e1. Queen e1. Nah, it's not good c4, I'm afraid. If you do knight c4, it could be b5. You have to move the knight, right? You have to move the knight. I don't know where you move the knight, because the problem is they're going to be hitting you again, threatening the queen, threatening the a3 bishop. I think you're going to lose a piece. It's not working knight c4 here. It just loses. So I guess MVL must play queen e1, I'm afraid. I don't think you want to go G or something, right? Although you could, but you need to properly investigate that line if you want to go queen g4 or something. After f5 feels weird, feels insufficient. You could, I guess, but it just doesn't feel incredibly comfortable. I don't know what to say about that queen g4 adventure. So queen e1, I guess now MVL actually thinks about these things. Of course he thinks, that's a truism. Queen e1, you just have some pressure here on e4 with the knight and the bishop. You unpin the queen. You might be playing knight c4 at some point. Maybe. So, knight f5 from c4. What? Knight c4, this guy goes here, knight a5? You're looking for the fork on c6, I see. But then they're going to be pushing b4. You're going to play a fork. It's very complicated. Yes, I got your point now. I think it unnecessarily gives black some fuel. And I'm not feeling very comfortable. My senses would be just don't go with the piece in a pin yourself. Don't pin yourself. So I think the principle is do not pin yourself. I got your point. I understand the idea. Knight c4, b5, knight a5, or knight c6. I understand all this stuff. But after knight a5, they might play, say, queen to e8. You might, it's queen to e8. Okay. Maybe. After queen e8, the pawn is no longer hanging. So knight c4, b5, knight a5. I get it. I understand. You go for a fork. If queen e1, they're going to be dropping the c5. It's an interesting line. I guess he is exploring it as we speak. If you don't do knight c4, you have to play queen e1. You know, as a human, you don't really want to put yourself in pin. So you might be reluctant to put knight c4. But it might be something about that move, especially after b5, knight a5, as you illustrated. It might be something correlated with c5 weakness as well. Yes, it might be something to that. You might be right about it. Probably just to saving my time. If this thing were to happen, I would just drop the queen on e1, saving my time, and then, think about other stuff to do. Because it takes you a lot of time, and if you mess it up, you just lose it. So it might be correct, knight c4. I'm just feeling a bit strange about it. Yeah, because we're not improving with anything. If we put the evaluation, I still see it as not the most ideal way to watch the Super GMs playing. It's not helping. It's not helping anyone. It's a lazy way to watch the games. Every single time I'm having friends, colleagues, it's just my personal view. When we use the eval bar, especially if you are a strong title player, it's just a bit unfair. We are supposed to make an effort as humans not to have it served for us. After the game had happened, we can put the engine in the critical moments. So I'm not a fan of using any form of non-human assistance during the live games. Yeah, I understand what you mean. The eval bar would just tell you straight away, right? So what might be our effort then in this thing? There's no effort. You got the eval bar. It doesn't even matter. You just play things around. You're not making a bit of an effort. Because they just serve it to you. You see, the machine tells you already. The eval bar goes crazy up and down. Oh, and you say, oh, it must be it. I mean, if you don't see it, you don't. If you see it, you actually see it. You don't need machine confirmation for this. If you don't see nothing, you don't see nothing regardless. But I think the struggle is we try to reconstruct the Super GM's thinking without the machine. That's the whole thing. You play like them, so to speak. So Magnus now and MVL do not have the AI. So why would we use it? Some guys, streamers, could be a little bit lazy, and they always stay with the laptop open and with the... Especially if you put the lines. I mean, this is the most unbearable thing for me. This is unacceptable. I mean, you're watching Magnus playing MVL, and then you toggle on the evaluation, the lines, and the feedback. It's the most appalling state to do a live game. Seeing the engine telling you all the time what to play. I mean, what do we even bother? Why do we even bother if the engine tells you what's the best move? I mean, why do we even waste our time? Anyway, pardon my digression. It's just I don't have justification for using those things. After the game, we want to deepen some understanding. I think it's okay. It does serve a purpose. But now, I mean, yeah. Queen g4. That's a thing that doesn't do nothing. I think you are stranding your queen. You're isolating your queen terribly. Queen g4, f5, and it's painful to play. It's painful to play. You are terribly isolating your queen. It's terrible. It is absolutely terrible to isolate your queen. You're gonna go f4. It's just you're not like losing. I mean, you might even trapping queen. Queen g4, f5. What do you go? If you go f4, you might be running into this. g5, you might be trapped, or you need to go queen g4, f5. You play h3, and this is awful. Hey, queen. Oh, look. AI Insights. Guys, this is the most perfect moment. He spent 10 minutes probably looking at the idea you had suggested previously with knight b5, knight c4, b5, knight a5. He calculated a ton. He wasted 10 minutes, and in the end, he played queen e1. And in the end, he played queen e1. After like, how much time did he spend? I mean, just move the queen on the back rank, save your precious minutes. You're not blundering anything. You make sure you're not blundering anything, and use the minutes for other complications down the road when you do not have a choice. That one was, I think, very psychological, played by Magnus, and I think MVL just put himself in a black hole of thinking And he just wasted incredibly precious minutes on that thing. Well, sometimes he might be. Sometimes I might be mistaken the interpretation. I might be wrong. And I was wrong. Sometimes I'm correct. But the fact we are thinking together with our human minds, I think that's the whole thing. That's how you improve, actually. Really, that's how you improve. You don't improve if the engine tells you the first 5 lines. You don't improve. But so Queen E1, which I said I would play in the first second. After Magnus played A6, I said Queen E1 instantly. Yeah, Knight E6 is a very natural move. AI, it's a very natural move, and it's strong. And another idea, after Knight E6, you could actually get your rooks. Also, you move the rook away from the A8 square, where it's subjected to potentially bishop takes E4. Question is, AI, you sure you don't want to play F5? Because there is the E4 incredibly important pawn. Are you sure you don't want to play F5? So I would say, even before Knight E6, it might worth to think about F5. I do not deny the efficiency of Knight E6, which is a very good stuff to do. It's very good stuff. But hey, Magnus doesn't go for that. He went for the bishop. Okay. Do you push A4 here? Looks, or do you take E? That's so. This is a very important moment here. Knight B5, bishop B2, CD. Knight takes E4. Knight takes E4. Because if you didn't, the other guy might have played this. So now you have yourself triple defense on C3. But the game is very sharp now. The game had gotten very, very sharp. Now this is very sharp. It's getting really, really tough now. Bishop E7 back, because this is just way too dangerous. And the bishop is supported by the queen. So there is no danger of a discovered attack on the rook with the bishop on G2 attacking A8. White needs to do something. Do you hit this guy with A4 now? No, you're losing E4. What am I talking about? You have to move the knight or to defend this guy. How? Question is. A4 still goodish. You're attacking the knight after all. They take, you take. You can't have them all. Right? You play 4. But they play... Okay. Took now queen defense here twice. Queen defense twice on E4. Yes, that is correct. Queen E2. You see, you move like a super grandmaster AI inside. So that's the power, that's the value of doing the super GM's games exactly like this. We're not using that one. Yeah. We're not using it because then we don't have to think for ourselves. Yes, I get it, Rami. I know. Yeah. I suppose it might be as you say. Thanks for stopping by the way. Good to see you, fella. How's it going, mate? How's it going? Oh, yeah. Yeah, we would love to. We would love to watch Bobby's games, and yeah, he would be absolutely priceless. He's very much missed by the chess players. Very much missed. Yeah, I did a couple of videos as a tribute to Bobby and Boris Spassky. So I think I have like 6 or 7, the first 6, 7 games that they played in 1972 on my YouTube channel, and think I would like very much to finish that World Chess Championship. So I need to go on with the next one. Oh man, that's good. That's good. Yeah, I think we should be revisiting that game number 6. Hey, what did happen here? Wait a minute. Oh, oh. Yeah, go, man. Don't neglect the sleep if you can, and you need to just go. Don't neglect the sleep. Thank you very much for visiting. I'm sure we're gonna meet up again, guys. Just you may follow me, and then we'll be in touch, people. Right. So look at this beautiful tactic, Rami. Knight f6. Check. Look at this beautiful tactic. If bishop were to capture, there, you would take here, queen would take, and then what? No, the queen are on pre as well. This is check. If bishop were to take, queen were to take, bishop were to take, bishop were to take. This is sick tactic. Beautiful. This is a live game as we speak, Rami. This is a very live. That's why you don't see any Valba on my streams. I'm staying away from any AI assistance during the live games. Especially during my streams, there is no way. Thank you, AI, for expressing your interest for the future games. Thank you very much, man. Cheers. So this is a live game, Rami, happening right now. It's Maxime Vachier-Lagrave playing Magnus Carlsen as we speak. Well, as I see it, Rami, the knight on f6 checks the king. If bishop takes, you would take the queen immediately. So you have to take the queen now. I mean, exactly. Look, I mean, I just said it. And now you're going to take the bishop on b7. You must do this, attacking here. I'm not saying it's not crazy because there is a check here that forks the rook. It's crazy as it gets. This is very complicated. But I got it right exactly when I said that. If bishop takes, queen takes, bishop takes, and now very likely bishop takes f7, attacking the rook, and then you're going to see a knight e2. Oh, well, look, the guys are absolutely mad. It could, yeah, this is just super crazy tactic. Super crazy tactics. So these guys are exactly, it's their bread and butter. It's the bread and butter of a super GM. So that was a crazy tactic that they just played. These guys are incredibly strong, and that's what they do. It might be a draw after all, Rami. It might be a draw. Now, at this stage, it might be a draw. 5 pawns, 5 pawns. Pawns are connected. Connected. You're going to trade off everything and shake hands and fight another day. So now if rook takes, is MVL takes and bishop takes, I think we're going to see a draw. There's no way to force anything unless you want to risk it unnecessarily. Yeah, I think for a super GM like them, this kind of tactical complications, it's what they do day in, day out. I guess when they train every day, they do tactics non-stop. It's what they do. They winning, when they win, amongst others, they are masters of the tactics. Exactly. So they are. This is a draw, guys. Probably one of them should suggest to the other guy should propose a draw here. I don't see anything happening. I think if you switch on the engine now at your end, it will give you 0.00 or just maybe 0.15 or something, which is nothing. It's just nothing here. Sorry, this game just doesn't bring anything now. I think we should be going, guys, to Dingley Ren or Richard. This is something. You could isolate blacks. Exactly, that's what I wanted to say. You could isolate their pawn on C and A, respectively. King here, we're going to be attacking the bishop. No, he can't, because that guy would have been falling. Okay, so you can play bishop here and... or king here. Or, yeah, well, there are very many options. It could be this. We might be seeing bishop f3. Then king wants to go d3, c4, attacking this guy, which is a dark square pawn. But king's going to play here. It's finished. Yes, Rami, I think it's just finished. King d3 for king c4, but then you got this. So really, you can't make any big progress on any meaningful way. Yes, maybe. But if they really want to win, I think MVL actually wanted to generate a forced trade of all those minor pieces to clear out the madness and to maintain the simplicity of the ending so that they could generate eventually a draw. So it could be. Thank you for following, my friend. So what could they possibly do here? Just to shake hands, draw. If this thing were to happen, you only need to focus on those isolated pawns. But how exactly are you going to get access to attacking them? Because I don't see how. Yeah, I don't see how you're going to do it. Yeah, okay, king c3. You can play b4, but then it's really draw. Like really, really draw. Why do they even bother? Thank you, Rami. Trying to understand together with you guys. Okay. Let me tell you another subtlety. Probably you are very much aware of it, guys. Those guys are on dark squares. You're going to push or you're going to take? Okay, this is a draw. This is very, very draw. Why do they keep pushing it? White has the pawns on dark squares, so they cannot be attacked by the bishop. Okay, that's a draw. I mean, we know it's a draw, right? Sorry, what's the stuff? We're gonna move the bishop up and down all day here. D3 f5, D3 f5, D3 f5. We're not. Yeah, that's it. They draw. That's it. Yeah, no, they were just wasting time. Oh boy, let's see Vincent and Dingley run. I think it's more exciting than the game we've just seen, Rami. No apologies to anyone that roots for Magnus or MVL, but that was very much finished. When all the pieces got traded, that was very much finished, guys. There was nothing else. I think this one is more interesting, Rami and Vada, if you're still there. This one, I think it's way more interesting than what they played. For instance, can we say Rami and Vada, can we say b7 is a poison pawn? Can we call the b7 a very, very poison pawn? Given the rook over to b8? I mean, you could... Yeah, and there is another thing you need to consider. Is this one here? Yeah, on many occasions, Magnus plays with the crushing accuracy. So I think, Rami, first thing first, we need to address the bishop takes e2. But hey, Vincent goes with a creative little move. What the heck did he do? He took on b7. Didn't I say it's a Didn't I say that they're going to take on e2? What the heck is he doing? That's exactly what I said. I said that if you take on b7, they're going to take on e2. But hey, you're going to have to move the rook. Or not. Can you not take... can you not move the rook? Do you want to give this rook? Do you want a second exchange? I don't think there's enough compensation. You have to play rook. They're going to be taking this guy. Yeah, you do have stuff. You could take here, for instance. My 2 cents previously were maybe white should have secured the e2, Rami, and then go for the b7. He went for the b7. Ding took... Okay, rook fe1. We did say that. Probably you did also fought that. Bishop d3, natural move. We said that as well. And we also said queen takes c6. Queen takes c6. Okay, and if it's this, we could play this. Still way more interesting than Yeah, but they follow the same principle. They follow the same object. And sometimes, or maybe more often than sometimes, I was able with my friends on the streams to actually finding even the best moves that was suggested by the machine, and they actually the GM went with the second or the third line. So that happens too. So I think the mind is the mind. Sometimes you just have that clarity. It's a continuous struggle for clarity. That's what it's just it's a struggle for clarity. That's what it is. So now probably some. I mean, if you ventured with the queen so far, grab the c6 and okay, he plays knight c5. So if rook, they're going to be playing this and then they playing that and this. Okay, I've seen it now. Probably. If rook b8, queen takes double attack on the knight with the bishop combined on g2, hitting on d5. Maybe something like this. Knight c5. Oh, by the way, knight c5 as well. Knight c5 attacks the bishop. But if this, you're going to play here attacking this guy twice, attacking this guy. So I think it's serious. Rook b6. Yeah. Six times six chess variant? Yeah, probably. Probably, Rami. We got all sorts of variants on chess.com anyway. We got the... Yeah, we got all sorts of variants. We got the 4-player chessboard. Did you try the 4-player chessboard? In which, you know, you play with the 3 other guys? It's just sick. I mean, there is no theory there. I mean, I wish you good luck. It's just... sure, someone's going to win. But you can attack like 2-3 guys at the same time. It's just... Yeah. So, yeah, it's... I mean... If you really want to play something super cool, you may just very well try the Fisher Random. And that's it. I think you got yourself a lot of very pure tactics right from the very start, since there is no theory, so to speak. So I think Fisher Random should be satisfying for 960. That should be very satisfying for any tactician out there. You got everything you need. Yeah, it's just I tried it once for fun, but it was just completely mad. I mean, it was just completely mad. It is. It's very, again, I think it's very gratifying for tacticians. So you're gonna have to make an effort from the very beginning. And yeah. Yeah, I can see now. Thank you, Isabella, for following. Appreciate. So that what now I don't remember if I played Backhouse, Vada. I can't remember about the bar. Have I ever played Backhouse? Can't remember. You know, I normally notice that just the classical chess, it takes a lot of time for me to study either openings or to practice some tactics, or I mean, it takes a lot of time. So the chess variants, that's extra luxury time. I mean, I would study Najdorf, then playing Backhouse or something. I mean, I would study the Najdorf, some sideline or something. Maybe. But 960 to making a theory? Gee, this is crazy. I mean, we are struggling. Even Super Grandmasters, let's say in some openings, the theory had finished and you need to come up with the stuff of your own. But 960 theory? It's mad. It will keep us busy as a species and as a chess players. My God. I'm not sure about that opening theory. We're struggling only with this static display of the pieces, Rami. Oh, man. Anyway, I recognize the virtue of 960, and I think it's incredibly fascinating, and it's beautiful, and it's just awesome. I love it. I really do. But I notice normally the same guys that winning in the classical chess, they also killing it in the 960 regardless. Because we as humans try to arrange the 960 positions into our very familiar patterns of chess. So every single time I'm seeing these super guys when they play, the super chess players, they convert the unorthodoxy of the 960 into the very well known positions patterns in the classical chess middle game or ending tactics. That's what I noticed. So we tend to actually tame and adapt the future game of the 960 game into the pattern we normally play. You do start crazy, but then you end up in a very, predictable pattern. I've noticed. I've noticed. Yeah, that's a encyclopedia. That would be a cosmic encyclopedia. I mean, that's just so vast. This is indeed. This is. I mean, I can't even think or probe into the vastness of 960 opening theory. Jesus. So you gotta have 960 openings. No, 960 ways to start the game, and everyone with its variants and sub-variants. This is nuts. Hey, Rami, look at this, brother. Rook A B8 attacks the queen. It took a lot of minutes to ding, and now I think my 2 cents would be queen takes c6. Queen takes c6. Because you gotta go away from the rook, right? You play queen takes c6, and you're gonna be attacking the knight whilst pressurizing the bishop on d3 with your c5 white knight. So it's queen c6, right? It's queen c6, of course. I don't think there's anything else. You can't play anything else. Pardon me. Can you do queen d7 though? You kind of can and cannot, because queen d7 does not mean black is going to take your queen though. That's a wishful thinking, which is not very helpful in chess. You know, I haven't studied that thing. I mean, I'm fully enjoying Rami, the chess 960. I'm fully enjoying it, but I haven't even considered for a nanosecond a possible opening theory of 960. I always took it like an innovative way to start the game in which the players are forced to think from the very first move rather than having a pre-preparation, which is happening in the classical chess. So in 960, you are forced from the very first move to think and being tactical and genuine and authentic right from the very start of the game. Yeah, I got your point. I think I understand what you're saying, but it's just too vast to comprehend. Yeah, of course, there could be an opening theory for everything. You take any position from the 960, right? You take any position, and you can start analyzing. It's good to push the B pawn or it's good to push the C pawn. So you can start the theory right now. Yeah, but it's I think yeah, just 478 left. Yeah, I like that, just quotation marks. Yes, just 478. So yeah, I mean, come on, man, make up your mind. Make up your mind. All right. So what is Vincent? What is Vincent doing here? Why is he not moving Queen C6? Rami, is there anything than Queen C6 here? Well, I think you might be better than me at maths. Way better than me at maths. Okay. Well, at least we can practice our chess understanding every single time we are meeting up together. So, cool stuff. Now, do you think apart from queen takes c6, yeah, well, there you go. How many minutes did it stay with us? We did say queen c6 ages ago. Rook b2, we did say that as well. Rook b2 attacks the bishop on d2, so if... Now you got two options. You take here, or you take d3. Both cases could be potentially rook takes d2 ASAP being played. So you could. I like that question of yours. Yeah, unfortunately or fortunately, it was a pawn on b2 as well. But the idea would be for black to take material back by attacking d2 bishop. This is very tactical and very challenging. Yeah, that's depends on the perspective, Rami. It might have been poisonous for black. It might have been healthy for white, and vice versa. It goes quite the opposite when this thing happens. What's poisonous for some player, it's healthy for the opposite player. So that's how it goes. It's interchangeable. And now this is very complicated. I'm thinking now because the bishop on d2 was compromised. Yeah, you could. What? Yeah, because the bishop on d2 is compromised. Why not? Why not just taking this guy here? Queen is going to take, right? Well, hell, you might just taking this guy, and then they take here. I mean, they might be though. After bishop a5 and you take, they might be taking with the queen, and they might have this kind of stuff. It's complicated. It's complicated. No, you're gonna lose the bishop regardless, Rami. You're gonna lose the bishop. The question is where you want to lose the bishop. Looks to me if you take on a5, you might be bringing the black queen closer to attacking you. So maybe... But then again, if you take the a5, you're also creating a passer. If you ever manage to push that pawn. This is very complicated. I think this position is really complicated. So this one here, for a human player. Yeah, well, Nakamura, absolutely. And takes is a psychological thing that actually simplifies things. So the more you're trading pieces, the less complicated it gets. That's known. So bishop takes d5 was one option we did mention. And now, of course, you take the rook whilst you're defending the d3 from the knight. Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah, the arrows are very helpful sometimes, indeed. So rook takes d2. And if knight takes, rook takes. The problem is there is a bishop defending this guy, which if he comes down, you got a big problem. So this is so far from over. This is so far from over. And no wonder Vincent Keimer spent, so much time here, like 25 minutes and something. Ding Liren, surprisingly, has almost 10 minutes extra. You wouldn't say Ding would be that fast, eh? Or maybe Vincent is slowish today. Or, I don't know. But Vincent, I noticed, Rami, Vincent, like he gets in time crisis. He's the first player to get low on time. Vincent Keimer, that is. I mean, I've seen him playing Magnus or whoever he plays. Yeah, you could open up very badly. You could open up badly or unsatisfactorily. And then middle game ending, they matter so much. Oh yeah, the game is not finished until the other guy resigns or you checkmate them. Yeah, that happens for so many of us, yeah. They matter, all of them. Opening matters, middle game, end game, they all matter. Now, if you play bullet, it doesn't matter that much. If you play the rapid like 10, 15, 20 minutes, then it does matter. Yeah, yeah. If you do just bullet and you blunder stuff, that I'm not even sure that's important, so to speak. Unless you're playing a oh right. So you do bullet, I guess. Yeah, in the bullet everything is possible. I mean, it's just so crazy, the bullet. I try to stay away from playing bullets. I mean, it's just oh yeah. Oh, that's good then. Oh, that's good. If you did the 10 minutes, that's good. That is good. 10 minutes game, it's absolutely fine. 10, 15 minutes. I think these are good stuff to do. Totally. I highly recommend. Maybe 15 minutes. If you got someone online to playing, probably 15 minutes is very good to do. Very good stuff to play. 15, 10 seconds increment, maybe even more. So, Ding here is black to play. So, tell me now again, guys, why doesn't he just take on D2? Ah, he didn't take because he wanted to attack the queen with tempo. Really? Hey, that's an interesting one. Blimey. If you go here, you might be having a discovered attack when the bishop... Well, whoa, 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 whoa. What does he mean? Bishop b5, I can see attacks the queen, so... It attacks the queen, okay. We can't take the bishop because the rook defends. Okay. Let me find the space for the queen. And I guess it's b7? Where do you want to go with the bishop? Because if you go somewhere with the bishop, I might just take your rook. So definitely, is it really Schwitzenzug? Queen b7, is it really Schwitzenzug? Queen b7. What do you do with the bishop, really? What do you do with the bishop? Where do you go? Okay, I understand the pressure. The queen has to stay in constant touch with the bishop, otherwise the black queen takes it. It's very difficult to assess. But it's surprising in a positive way to see Ding thinking faster than Vincent in playing very tactical approaches. Personally, I was inclined to say rook should take on d2. But hey, these guys are very creative today. They're very creative. Okay. So queen b7? So just to save everybody's minutes, I think if you get yourself, Rami, into this position and you know the queen is being hit and you know you can't generate a bigger threat, just go with the first safe square, right? It might be something to it, but it's not very clear. Queen b7 would be safe for now. I don't see how black can further attack your queen. I understand it's a bit of a Schwitzenzug. I understand what you're saying. Well, I'm not feeling particularly threatened about. After queen b7 as white, you need to move that bishop somewhere. I don't know where. Or maybe knight or... No, you can't. You can't move the knight. Actually, you can, because the bishop is pinned. You're going to take the rook, right? Okay, so let's start with queen b7. So this is very time-consuming, Rami. This is very, very much time-consuming indeed. This kind of tactical positions eats all the time in any rapid. That is why I recognize the merits of the classical chess, because in the classical chess, I think the super GMs produce their best ideas. Really, I really believe in the classical chess. I know that Magnus Carlsen is not a great fan of classical chess because he dies of boredom or he falls asleep. I know that. I know that. But I think in the classical chess, well, get yourself like 3-4 energy drinks, coffees, get some chocolates in your pockets, and just keep going. You know, I agree. Yes. You would have to have also a very good physical condition, which is, I think, good. You are supposed to be doing a little bit of running, a little bit of cardio, a little bit of, you need to have some. Oh, yeah, of course you need fuel. Of course. You need another cup of coffee for this one. Yes, Vada, that's. Hey, Queen B7. I I said Bishop A5 is just unnecessarily making it a massive mess. I'm not sure Bishop A5 is gonna work. Sorry, Bishop A5. I'm not sure Bishop. Queen B7 for sure. Okay. Do you know what that means? Guys, Dingley Ren is let's not a rebel. No man, I'm gonna lose them all. I'm gonna lose them all. If I put any alcohol whilst I'm playing, I'm gonna lose them all. I'm already playing badly as it is when I'm sober. I'm losing all of them. So, do you know what's the thing? I like very much Dingley Ren in this particular position because he thought about when he moved the pawn, he actually protects the rook. He actually protects the rook. And he can move now the bishop attacking the queen with discovered attack. This is something he needs to seriously consider. I mean, Vincent has to think very carefully about this one now. So this is really, really, really cool stuff here. Dingley Ren really did something incredibly beautiful here. Very beautiful. Oh, wow. What a beautiful creation here. So bishop g7 protects the rook on b2. Therefore, the bishop on b5 can play attacking the queen indirectly with tempo, discovered attack on the queen, on the white queen. This is phenomenal. This is so gorgeous. This is gorgeous. That's not to say, and there is another thing, Rami. Have you noticed that if you explore bishop c3 to cut off the bishop from protecting the rook, let's just say they will take, you take, and then they're going to move this guy down the board here. I mean, this is really complicated. And if you play a rook here, they might have, after all this, attacking your rook whilst to take their rook. This is really nuts. But the attack on the queen is huge. If black doesn't compensate, or doesn't take material back, he might be in trouble. I think it's an incredibly complicated tactical scenario. I think it's very complicated. This is very, very wild. This is very wild. Very wild. What do you play with white knowing that black is going to move the bishop, perhaps c4, attacking your king like this? What do you play with white? The bigger question is now. You do have. This is a crazy complicated tactic. You know, Rami, that I am very much in admiration that actually Ding had generated this kind of crazy tactic. Sorry, but this is something that, you would expect just Magnus to produce every single game. Seeing Ding playing like this, it gives me hopes. When I'm seeing Dingley Ren actually doing this kind of tactical madness, actually that gives me hope. Wow. I mean, wow. Yes, he is. Yes. And I would say rightfully so. So Vada bets his money on bishop a5. Bishop a5. Not that's not good, man. Queen takes. I don't. Yeah, Nakamura is another beast. Is another almost non-human player. Sometimes I don't know. He taps into some very deep understandings. Sometimes it's absolutely frightening. His calculation power is like, it's totally frightening. Is absolutely amazing. So Vada says bishop takes a5 here. There might be bishop takes a5. Let me think about the queen, where they might go. Queen takes. Sorry, you're giving away the bishop, then queen takes, and you're getting like forked with both rooks, Vada? I don't know if the theology applies in chess competence. Nice poetic twist here by Rami. Nice poetical twist. So bishop a5, Vada, queen takes, and you need to be worried about d2, forking both rooks. Just saying, right? I mean, really? Bishop takes a5, queen takes... Yeah. Yeah, poetic or metaphor, pretty much same stuff, I guess. Bishop a5. Okay, bishop a5, queen takes, and then you have to think all the time, how do you counteract d2? I mean, you already have a lot of trouble here, Vada. I mean, we already have... I mean, white already has a lot of challenge here, as it is. Now, I don't think you should be worrying extra about getting forked. Let me tell you something else. What do you think about queen e7? Although you lose this guy, I agree. I agree. I agree. This is very complicated. How did Dingley Rand did that? I mean, you can't do this to Vincent Keimer. How did... I mean, Ding... I don't recognize him anymore. It's not like himself. What... I mean... Because I wanna move away from the discovered check, Rami. Sorry, not from discovered attack. And okay, this is just bishop c3, bishop c3, bishop c3. Oh my God, it's gonna take all Vincent's time. Bishop, queen takes, rook takes, and that's what is. Queen e7, rook takes, awful, absolutely awful. Bishop c4, bishop takes, and you're toast. Look at this. Oh my God. Bishop c3, bishop takes, rook takes. Oh my God. At least the bishop can't move. So bishop c3. Do you know what's he gonna play after bishop c3? After bishop c3, Ding is going to push this pawn down. That's exactly the correct punishment for this. If you do bishop c3, black is responding d3 to d2. And when you take back, then he will play bishop c4, and I think you're done with white. Oh, Rami, I just remembered. You remember when I told you that queen b7 is an incredibly poisonous pawn? Do you remember I said, I think you just joined the stream? Well, this mess with white happened because of the queen takes b7. So this thing is, let's say, the direct consequence of playing queen captures b7. Which I was kind of reluctant for white to play. Because I didn't like it. I was telling you then, after all, I think it was the most poisonous pawn ever. Because after all, I thought that white was supposed to protect e2 first from the bishop, then you do whatever you want to do. But that e2 was very important to protect. But Vincent was a greedy boy. He went for the b7, and now he landed into this. And Ding is not Ding anymore. He's not Ding anymore. Look what he does. He's like Bobby Fischer now. Is like, what? Who's playing like this? Morphy. Yes, Vada. Yep. He plays like Paul Morphy, right? Is Ding Liren playing like Paul Morphy? Oh my god. Knight takes e6. Knight takes e6, which was knight takes, pawn takes, rook takes, discover check. This is so sick. Oh my god, this is a discover check. You have to move the king away. You must move the king away. So he had to give away some material, Rami. He needed to give some material back. You can't just keep the whole stuff hoping you're gonna turn up well. That's a discover check coming. So you must move now, king. I don't know, h or h7 or h8. Where do you go? If you go h7, you're still in a pin with this guy. So I guess king h8. King h8 had to be played. Hello, Step. Thank you for visiting, brother. How's it going? And thanks for subscribing. I didn't notice when that happened, so just wanted to say. So king h8, you want to move away from the discover check. And that might give you some respite with white to explore other craziness. Yeah, so this one not going to work. It's not very safe because of probably this kind of ideas. And there is many other ideas. Blimey me, there's so much craziness taking place. I don't even know what to look at first. It's going in the most beautiful, sick way because Ding Liren plays like Paul Morphy, seemingly. And I can't recognize Ding Liren in this game. It's just fabulous way that he played. Well, Vincent was a little bit a grabby guy. He went for the b7, which was, I think... Oh. Yeah? Oh, that's cool. Okay, I'm gonna send an email of gratitude to Bezos. Yeah, I'll ask him to multiply by 100 the subscription. Yeah, I'll ask Amazon and Jeff to multiply. He played very. Paul Morphy played very creative. He played very risky, creative, engaged, sacrificing, crazy stuff. King h8. I did say that king h8 because that's the safest take here. And now, Bly, that one, there you go, rook g6 because you got a checkmate coming in the move. Vincent found a way. Now let's see if Ding considered a way to take this. What are you doing here? What do you do? Rook here. Bishop's going to take. This is crazy. My God. Guys, I think this game, it does deserve a full YouTube video. And I seriously wonder maybe the next video. I mean, I'm going to spend as much time as necessary to look into this game. Understand it as much as I can. Because this is probably the most beautiful game this evening and maybe in all the rounds. I wouldn't call it. Yeah. Oh, that's all right, man. Don't be too sad. Don't be too sad, Step. It's, oh my God. Oh my God, discovered on the thing from this. Check. If you take with the bishop, I'm going to take your rook. Check. Where do you go? You're blocking. You attack the queen. Queen has to go. My God, this is incredibly beautiful. A camel might need, a camel might help for sure. Takes or check. Oh my God, he's toast. He blocks the queen. Okay, white is winning, fellas. Queen takes, rook takes. Is winning white because you've got like a billion passed pawns. As soon as queen takes, rook takes is done. I think. He didn't even bother. He wants to make sure that the black pawn on the d file has disappeared. Black, if black drops the d3 pawn, Rami, I think Ding could just very well resign. I have to admire his valiant character. I mean, that was just crazy to play that stuff. I couldn't recognize Ding in that option. I guess black is a bit toast now because white is having a billion extra pawns. That is extra 3 pawns now. 3 pawns on the king side. That's just goodbye. It's just too much. Yes. Oh my god, what a... He just resigned, Rami. He just resigned. Um, it's just crazy. That was just that was just insane. That was just crazy. 97.4 by white. So after all, Queen B7 was a great move. But it's so hard to find this on the board. Jesus. Queen B7 was a good move. Are you kidding me? No way. No way. Knight C5. How does this guy find them all the time? He's already going down, Ding, here. He's already sort of going down. Plus 1.52. He did do something, though, that if you didn't play this correctly, Rook B2. Queen B7, the only move available. That was a nice little find there. Knight A6, Rook B1, Knight B3. That was a very beautiful game. I'm sorry for Ding. I'm really sorry for Ding. He drew, now he lost. Yep. We could say that. We can conclude that. Apparently, Vincent taken on B7 wasn't a mistake, but definitely was super poison for black. The perennial B pawn. The perennial B pawn. Very drawish here, guys. Move number 15. Plus 0.15. E takes D4. Queen B3 makes sense. Going after the B7. Particularly. Rook B8 says the engine here. Perennial. I mean, that just takes place continually. It's like forever. Always coming into existence. It's perennial. It never disappears. It's always happening in the perpetual. It's perpetual. Perpetual. Always takes place. No step. They done for today. Hey, who would have thought that actually Bishop E2 is a bad move? Bishop E2 is a bad move, but as a human, you're so attracted by Bishop E2. This is so difficult to assess. This is so difficult. So the current world champion, Rami, fought like we fought like I fought during the stream. I mean, you tell me, out of 100 chess players, how many would say, yeah, Bishop E2 is a bad move? Yeah, of course. I mean, just very honestly, how many chess players would say Bishop takes on E2 is a bad move? How many? Because I was saying during the stream that Bishop E2 is definitely a move to be played. And Dingley Ren also considered that Bishop E2 is a strong move. It's definitely a strong move. You tell me how many human can actually say Bishop E2 is bad. Yeah, I think pretty much all the humans would say, yeah, you gotta take Bishop E2, including your chess idol Nakamura. I think he would probably, if he didn't see the game, I think he would probably say, yeah, Bishop E2, obviously Bishop E2, right? I mean, how come not Bishop E2? So human psychology requires you to take on E2. That's exactly what I would say, Step. That's exactly right. It's in the human nature to grab E2 and to take D3. That's what humans do. That's what we do. We are not machines. And the machine says Rook B8. Don't get me wrong. I think I did say that Rook B8 is a candidate move, probably the second. If this thing happens, I would always first consider Bishop E2. I would first go bishop e2. And then I would probably take on d3, feeling overly confident. And then I would go for a rook b2. And by the way, I would have the feeling with black that I'm actually winning. As soon as I take on e2, I would be incredibly overconfident. I wonder, maybe Ding felt similarly. I would have played exactly the same stuff. Knight c5. Now that's a nice one. I said queen c6 during the stream. I thought black is winning, Rami, up to a very advanced point. Let me tell you something. I'm very, very impressed with Vincent's thinking. I'm really impressed with Vincent's thinking. I said during the stream queen takes c6 when I was talking to you, my friends. I said queen takes c6. But actually, Vincent played the first line of the machine. So Vincent is a machine. He played knight c5. He played knight c5. This is just... Rook b8, which is, you know, at least you can do. Now, queen c6 makes sense. And now he played the blunder. 39 seconds. Okay. I think he played it rather quickly. Vincent played like himself. I don't know. I'm very impressed, Rami. Ding didn't spend too much time. Have you noticed, guys? Step Rami and Vada. Ding didn't spend too much time here. He went immediately for b2, which, by the way, feels incredibly okay. And now massive. Bishop takes d2, removing the troublesome knight. And now he plays bishop b5, which feels incredibly uncomfortable. Queen b7, the only move ever. And I would just play that one because I want to save my minutes. I'm not looking for anything else. I just want to save minutes. And queen b7, pawn going forward, threatening discovered attack on the queen. And boy, he finds it. 15 minutes 54. And he stayed like 9-10 minutes here. He spent, Rami, Vada, he spent 9-10 minutes at this stage. He spent a lot of time. And he went for knight e6. The second line of the engine. Also playable knight b3. Knight b3. Probably he was concerned about a4 and going back to square one after knight b3. He probably thought, well, the guy's gonna push a4. What am I wasting my time here? Let's just go different avenue. Knight b3, rook b1, knight e6. He spent a lot of time, knight e6, and he played a very nice stuff here. Attacking the queen. Takes and takes. He didn't even take with the bishop. He wanted to take with the rook to have also pressure on the sixth rank. He took with the bishop. He took with the rook. I mean, you can't even say you're gonna do this or that. You know. What if he did that? What if the bishop c4? Oh, you're having this? They take you, you take here, they take you here. You take here, they take here. You take this. This is crazy. It is very beautiful and still very convoluted. So if bishop c, if bishop c4, I'm taking your bishop. Then you take my queen. Then I'm gonna play this, and then I'm gonna take your queen. So with bishop c4, you take the bishop, right? Well, what do you play? Bishop c4. What? You take the rook? Yeah, maybe you take the rook. Bishop c4, you take the rook. They take your bishop, but you got two rooks. And then you take here. Bishop c4, you take here. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. It's checkmate in 3. Rook g6. Jesus Christ. Rook g6. Because it's double... No. What? Rook g6. Check from this guy, but they're gonna be taking you. What? So they take you here, and then you got it with the queen. Oh, queen g7, because it's a rook on g6. No, you, oh my god. Yeah, we do know, in the end. Spent 10 minutes for this, and he found it. Oh god, queen a6, rook takes h6. So there is this, there is rook attacking the queen, the bishop defending the rook that attacks the queen. And the best way to continue is to play the rook h6, and if the bishop takes, you're going to take the rook. And now you're going to deliver check. The black king is very much naked. Bishop blocks. You're moving very elegantly, bishop. The c3 takes and takes and takes. And this is just amazing. I mean, Vincent really, really did something incredibly spectacular. Absolutely spectacular guy. I mean, what amazing stuff. Right, fellas. Okay, so tomorrow is the playoffs, guys. So tomorrow I plan to be returning. Rami, if you got any time, dude, I think I'm going to be tuning back around 2 p.m. when they are to be starting. Yeah. Thank you, Vada. Thank you, Rami. Thank you, Step. And thank you, the other guys that I'm sorry if I missed your names. Cheers, fellas. So let's try and come back tomorrow for the playoffs, guys, and we'll take it from there. Enjoy the remainder of the days, guys. See you soon. Thank you.